And welcome to the Brain Space channel. We got vision, so I can get in position so that we can make a transition. Now, positive power, prosperous peace. I'm Biggest Brain, and this is the place where we find true meanings and reasons behind anything that we put our focus on because common sense just isn't common anymore. So over here, we be observing real life issues with the intention to find new perspectives on how to go about them. Now, if y'all are wondering what I'm looking at, I got like a couple of sheets and points. This is the transition that I need to project on my homeboy whiteboard, always in the building with me and supporting the cause. And so yeah, let me stay focused on what I need to do because I'm doing different things at the same time to reach one outcome. Now, the issue that in this video we are going to observe is what does it mean to be one of a kind? Now, below in the video, the title is whatever it is going to be. That is going to establish itself after the transition. But as I have not done the transition yet, we are going to observe the real life issue of what does it mean to be one of a kind. Now, we need to have some context for us to build on so that we can build, so that we can parlay, have a dialogue, a discussion, a healthy discussion. So the statement that I wrote down is we live in a construct which is not supportive of brilliancy. Now, you might wonder why is that even important? Because one thing we all can confirm, everybody has a dream. Everybody has a vision that shows that person, whoever it may be, how it would look like if you would fulfill your dream. Everybody has imaginations of how to get there. Everybody has the ingredient inside of itself already to be brilliant. But we're living in a construct that does not support brilliancy. Do you see now why it's getting important? What does it mean that everybody inside of it already has the ingredients to be brilliant? You just have to be free to be able to pursue it. That's it. But in this construct, you need to pay for a tutor. You need to pay for a degree, music school or whatever, art school or whatever. You need to pay to get there. You need to pay for the tools that you need. You need to pay for everything so much that it makes it practically, in a whole lot of cases, like now we have a recession going on, in a whole lot of cases, impossible for you to pursue the dream because you need to pay bills. You need to keep the hot water running. You need to keep the lights on. You need to buy food. You need to take care of the kids, and etc. and etc. and etc. So we're living in a construct that is not supportive of brilliancy. Now, now we have giving the how would you call it? The title or the semi title, the one in between brackets, some context. Now, from here, what have you seen me writing down on the whiteboard? Warm up the mind. That is what we are doing right now. We cannot just jump into a topic and expect a person to follow you. People come from every walk of life. Um, um, so the first thing that needs to be done is that the vision needs to be directed into the position that we are going to transition. Because else, um, 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 understandings about the world that we already have, like religion, science, and etc., is going to clash. So first we set the vision in the position that we are going to transition to, and then we build on top of it. And that is what I wrote down as warming up the mind. Now, why did I choose to say warming up the mind? As I said in the beginning, you're not gonna go or I didn't, but you're not gonna go into the gym and start going hard straight away. No, you warm up your muscles, yeah, and then you're gonna go build it up to beast mode. The same thing is with the mind. The mind is also a muscle. The mind is also something that needs to be trained, that needs to be kept fit. The mind also needs to be kept healthy. The mind is also a muscle. So we need to warm up the mind so that once we go beast mode in the bit, we don't harm ourselves. Now, in the scientific field, in the gym, what are we warming up? Our physical body. In this realm that we are reaching right now, yeah, we are broadening our perspectives right now. In the scientific field, we are using the word mental body. What is important here is that we realize that now it is time for me to grab my marker. It is important for us to realize that, no, I don't want to use black. I'm going to use blue on this one. There you go. We are warming up our muscle. Which muscle did we say that we was warming up? There we go. Our mental body. Now, once we go into the gym, which one do we warm up? Our physical body. What is it that is becoming visible right now? That the mind is a body, that this physical vehicle is a body, and not to forget, the spirit is also a body. I hope that y'all can make out what this is I'm saying, but yeah, I'm going to run out of space regardlessly. That's okay. 1 second, excuse me. Just a sip of that water. Okay, so what are we looking at over here? We are looking at this. We are broadening our awareness to be aware about what? The spirit body, the mental body, and the physical body. Now, beat game. Now here's where the spiritual game is going to be in. This is your Trinity. The board is wiggling. I don't want to move it because I don't want to mess it up in the frame. I don't want to get it out of the frame. Like now, I already don't really know how it's looking like. Trinity of existence. Okay. That looks like a doctor has been writing it down, but that says Trinity of existence. Now, it is important that we are going to understand this part. Why? Because we live in a construct that is not supportive to brilliancy. What did I do when I was describing brilliancy? I described one group of people, one group of minds. This is a mind. This is a group of people that have this brilliancy. You also have the person that has the piano, but instead of being brilliant, this person just know all the rules, know all the octaves and all of and everything. But this person also goes to work. This person also take care of this, that, and the third. So the piano is over there catching dust. And you have the person that just talks about the piano, searches about the piano, know all the information about the piano, but doesn't actually get it. You see? Three different people. Now, why is it important that we keep in mind that there are three different kinds? Yeah? What was we asking? What does it mean to be one of a kind? Before we can answer that, we need to know how many kinds are there? How many kinds are we even talking about? Now we can confirm that we are dealing here with three different kinds. And how can we confirm that? Because, okay, I need you to listen to this carefully. How can we confirm this? Because a trinity has to be present for something to be able to exist. Existence expresses and perceives and experiences itself within a trinity. Let me say that again. Within a trinity, existence expresses, perceives, and experiences itself. Let me repeat that again. Within a trinity, yeah, existence expresses, perceives, and experiences itself. You need to have 3 points of existence. You have your physical body. It's physically here, physically exists. You are aware of that. You know that nothing, nobody has to tell you that. You can see that. Your mental body exists. That is something that you know you can see inside of yourself, that your mind is present. That is where you see your innovations and your imaginations in, which comes together and create a will that you now want to go for. The spirit body, that is you being conscious about the two other ones that we have just described, that we are just breaking down right now. So the trinity of existence of this vehicle, this physical vehicle, is the spirit, the mind, and the physical body. Let me put over here mind. This one is the mind, spirit, and the physical body. Now, why is it important to look at this in this direction? That's important because the spirit is inside of the mind and the mind is inside of the body. That is also things that we need to be aware of. The spirit is your first reflection. Whenever you become aware for the first time, the first thing that we do is we build a spirit body so that we can perceive with. Then we build a mental body so that we can express through. And then we build a physical body so that we can experience with. So now it's going to become interesting because what we are aware of is that the physical body is a third dimensional. We are in the third dimension. This is a third dimensional, third density object, physical object, biological object. however you want to resonate with it, avatar, blah, blah, this and that, whatever you want to resonate, it is three-dimensional. Yeah. The mental body is six-dimensional. Now, how do we know this? Because, do we remember, for something to exist, there must be a trinity. So, what do you get? The first and the second dimension give birth to the third dimension. The first one, masculine, the second one, feminine, coming together, give birth to a third, completely new, unique. That is the thing. It can become anything that it wants to be. So that is what it means to be unique. Masculine force and feminine space come together, and these two create a completely new outcome. I almost want to say product, but it is a new outcome, a new vehicle, a new thought, a new idea, a new possibility, whatever you may want to may call it. Now, the first and the second give birth to the third, and we perceive it as the first and the second being inside the third. First, your consciousness, whatever they want to call it. The second, your sense of duality, whatever they want to call it, is inside of this third dimensional body. Now, the fourth and the fifth dimension are inside of the sixth. This is where we find the mental body at. The fourth and the fifth, fourth being masculine, fifth being feminine, coming together, fourth being the of force, fifth being the space, coming together, give birth to the sixth. And we experience that as the fifth and the fourth and the fifth being inside of the sixth. And why we experience it like that, you will understand as we build going up. Because as y'all can see, to put this into perspective, we literally need to start at the third dimension going up or going inside. This is now what we are talking about, going deep. This is what it means to go deep, for reals, deep. Like making sense, remember, making sense out of what we got our focus on. That is what we are doing here in this channel. Now, the seventh and the eighth are inside of your ninth dimensional body. The spirit is a ninth dimensional body. 1 second, excuse me. Take a sip of that real quick. Your spirit is a ninth dimensional body. The seventh and the eighth dimension are inside, or not first, the seventh and the eighth dimension, seven being masculine, the eighth dimension being the feminine, the space in which the masculine force can be a force in, coming together, gives birth to the ninth dimension. And we, being here, experience that. You see, this is the direction in which we are moving. We are ascending. So we experience this as the seventh and the eighth being inside of the ninth dimension. Remember the direction in which we was going. And why is it important? Because at one point, let me see, do I still have enough space? Well, if I don't, it doesn't space or not, this has to happen like this. This is below, and this is above. As above, so shall it be below, and as it is within, so shall it be without. Now, where was I? The seventh and the eighth are inside of the ninth dimension, and because we are experiencing existence through the third dimensional lens, this is what we see. The direction in which we are looking at this is what we would call up, but it is inside, deep. This is how deep we are going once we are talking about being spiritual. But we will get there because now we are building up here. We got something to work with because we are still trying to find out what are the kinds of minds that we are dealing with over here. Now it's going to get funny because, and now I'm going to use black. I'm going to start here. You got the bored mind. Who is the bored mind? The bored mind is the mind that is lost on the internet, lost in likes, lost in views, lost in expectations, lost in fears, lost, just being lost. Just think about it. They are always in search. But what are they searching for? Entertainment. Why? Because they are bored. These are the bored minded ones. And you also have the broad minded ones. Hope that you'll see what is happening. The broad minded ones. Who are the broad minded ones? The broad minded ones are the ones that have a degree. The broad minded ones are the ones that have a profession. The broad minded ones are the ones that have something to lose. The broad minded ones are the ones that take care of business. In the last video, what was it that we was talking about? Problem, idea, solution. And to what did I convert this trinity for my, see again, a trinity. A trinity need to be in place for something to exist, or else it cannot exist in this third dimensional reality. I hope that things started to make sense now while certain things start coming, certain things start to come back. Now, that trinity, problem, idea, solution, what did I made of it to function within my reality, state of mind, obstacle, and reinitiating a new state of mind, a new state of being. Now, the broad-minded person, whenever dealing with a obstacle, gets it done. Why? Because this person has a profession. This person has something to lose. This person has a broader perspective because it has put in more work to gain more prosperity for itself. The bored person, usually when a problem or a obstacle comes up, they are the ones that have mothers taking care of the problems, governments taking care of their problems, public services, and etc. and etc. They don't reach this perspective. The ones who reach this perspective are usually also your middle class people, and etc. and etc. And by the way, this is a choice not to reach this plateau of looking at the same case scenario. Now, how can I put what I said a little bit more in perspective? Now we need to explain this one, which is the brilliant mind. Now, to put this one into perspective, it is a little bit, it's a little bit more tricky because we have here now very visible three kinds of minds: the bored mind, the broad mind, and the brilliant mind. Now, to explain somebody something that it didn't experience, that is where true teaching comes in, because who is able to make such a video with such a topic? You can only convey something experienced. May it be a good experience or a bad experience. If it is a bad experience, you're able to warn somebody. If it is a good experience, you're able to motivate somebody. Keyword, it is experienced. And that is why you can convey whatever message you have to convey. Now, for me to break this down, one message for two different groups, what was important for me to find out first? Which one of these, yeah, is masculine and which one of these is feminine? And not what we make of it, like when you hear these words. No, peep game, because now it's going to get very, very interesting. Whenever we are talking about the third dimensional body, we are usually, yeah, or not usually, the third dimensional body, yeah, your third dimension, or what they want to call your third chakra, is what they call your solar plexus. And I, right now, am going to write here sun. And everything will make more sense while we are building it on. Just hear it out. Your sixth dimension, your mental body, is your moon. And your ninth dimensional body is your, I have no space, your ascendant. This has nothing to do with astrology. What am I pointing at? We all say every time that the sun is masculine, and we always say that the moon is feminine. The moon literally has a whole lot to do with a woman's cycle. Like these, I'm using these words because this is already actually quite common knowledge. But now we're going to put it in a certain perspectives so that we can gain certain what perspectives to look at this in a certain way that we can use in real time, real life. Now, let's get to the point. If this solar plexus dimension, what we are looking at, is to be perceived as masculine, and the mind, the one that correlates all our energies, all our emotions, is to be considered feminine. Why feminine? Because the body is what we use to express with, and the mind is what we use to deal with everything that we have inside going on. Input, inside. Expression, output, outside. It is the expression that is the masculine force, and it is the which we perceive everything that's going on the inside, that is the feminine force, the space. Remember, the body expresses its force in a space. That space is the feminine energy, the masculine energy is the force that now that it has a space is able to mean something. A man, a masculine force, I mean to say, with no space to be that masculine force in, is vain. A feminine space with no masculine force to mean something is just a vacant space. Nothing is happening. They need to come together. Now, in this case, how I am breaking it down right now, what did I also say over here? Three things need to come together for there to be for something to be able to exist. So in this case, what do we have? We have masculine and feminine coming together, and the third one is its own unique being. It can become anything that it wants to be. In this case, if the third dimension is masculine and the sixth dimension is to be considered feminine, then the ninth dimension is whatever it wants it to be, free of any anything, bias, religion, science, anything. It's free from all of that. It is what it wants to be. Now, now it's going to get very, very interesting because if I am able to bring one message that is able to depict this one as masculine and this one as feminine, then I can show you how it is to see life through this lens. Let's see if I can get that. Let's see if I can bring that point home. What I came up with was this method. Yeah, I'm going to use the black one for this one. So, we have the third dimensional body. And what does the force needs? To matter, space. So, I'm going to draw a space over here. Like this, like this, like this, and like this for now. Like this. And we got one floor, and we got two floors. And we got three floors. Think that y'all catch the drift. My drawing's still not really on point, but you'll definitely catch the drift. We got a building over here. This is the side of the building. Like this. Boom. There we go. It is your perspective from the third density. Yeah. We got oh, and I forgot over here. I'm doing completely wrong because I actually need bigger windows. This is not going to even work like this. Okay, let's do it over again. We got one window, we got a second window, and we got a third window. There we go. Okay, you're standing in the window. Now, what we are seeing here is this is the board mind. Yeah? What does this imply in this case? This person is standing in front of the building. This person needs to look up at the building. This person can see itself standing in the window. Remember, this is the sixth. Or not the sixth dimension. This is the broad mind. It's perspective. Yeah. This person, when it looks behind or around in the 260 degrees, it only see cars, obstruction, poles, obstruction, other people's obstruction, all kinds of obstruction. That is the view that it has on life, the outlook that it has on life. The broad-minded person. This person is inside of the building, and this person is looking outside. Now, in comparison to this person standing down at the bottom, this person standing in a three-story building looking down has a whole lot broader visual, a whole lot broader perspective. This person is able to see all the way down the street. This person is able to see all the way down the street left and right. AKA, this person, when an obstacle presents itself, has a whole lot more perspective at its disposal to attack that whatever that obstacle is. If you understand now how The allegories that I was mentioning earlier, slowly but sure, are going to come together. Now, this person standing here can see himself standing down there, but it is also aware of all the how would you call it, all the perspectives that it has standing up here simultaneously at the same time. That is important for us to understand that, because what did we say in the beginning? The spirit and the mental and the physical body are at work all at the same time. They don't wait for each other. No, this is all happening at the same time. You are physical, mentally present, and the spirit indicates that you are very much alive right now. It's all happening at the same time. So, this person, the bored mind, has no access to this perspective. So, this person is literally only living in 3D. That is what it means when you hear people say that people are stuck in the 3D mindset. That is this person who is looking up and has no clue how to get inside of the building and start looking from this perspective with a broader view. Now, whenever we go, whenever we go 6 stories more up, 3 stories more up, guess what? We have standing here. This is what we would call the brilliant mind. Now, I hope that it is completely fall into context now, and I've drew this actually wrong. Like this. This one is standing on top of the building. What does this mean? This person is able to see this one all the way down there. Yeah? It's able to see himself all the way down here. It's able to be aware of himself being inside of the building, inside of the building, and he has the his perspective and his perspective are outrageously different. This one is able to see all the way down, practically over the whole city, in all directions. This one has what we would call bird's eye view. This one is what we would call all seeing eye view. The obstacles that this one is not able to get out of, this one is able to see them coming, and this one is able to be so far out of reach that once they present themselves, they are not even a obstacle to this one. To this one, they are not even a obstacle. Before the obstacle reaches, the state of mind is already initiated in in an outcome that is a solution unto itself. You don't look for a solution. No, the state of mind that you reinitiate is the solution on itself. Now, I hope that you understand what this means. I hope that this opens up something inside of you. Because we all have access to this. This is nothing hocus pocus, nothing new, not something that now you need to go Google or something as if that is possible. This is my teachings. This is not something that you can Google. This is a perspective that you are able to understand and grab it and use it for yourself. Look towards existence through that lens for yourself. That is what we are trying to achieve here. This one has every possible outcome to its disposal because it's able to use it. But be aware, all of this is happening at once. You have this side and you have this perspective and you have this look on life all at the same time, at all times. And now that we have done this part, make this part very visible. Yeah, yeah, I'm saying it correctly. Now that we have made this part visible, because now you can see what I am talking about. Whenever when I'm talking about the spirit body, when I'm talking about the mental body, when I'm talking about the physical body, the spirit being inside of the mind being inside of the body, now you understand how and why they all work at once, because we are physical, and if we want, we can have an open mind, a broader perspective on things, instead of being how would you call it, all tunnel visioned up. How do you say that? Stuck up, when you are there is a word for it. I cannot find the word right now. It doesn't matter, it's okay. Um um and we can have a very observing um, um, way of approaching a matter before we just react and attack the matter. Now, that last part is the whole below aspect, yeah, that I am explaining right now. And now it is time for us to go to the above aspect of what I am explaining now, so that both sides can come together. You see, two two sources are needed for a trinity to be produced. And once you have a trinity, something is able to exist. Now, now it is time for us to go above. And for us to go above, now we're going to grab this bit, yeah, and do it because when we say as above, so below, this is where people get confused, because what people do not understand is that when we are looking down, you see this? When we are standing here, when we are standing here, when we are standing here, looking down, this is us ready to be born. The spirit coming down into a mind is the equivalent of being born. Let's do it like this, because this might already get a little bit too crowdy, but this is the realm of birth. And the mind is through which we experience life. And the body is literally the one through whom we experience death. Now, for me to go okay, for me to go into the opposite direction now, I am just going to, because it is way too crowded over on my sheet. It worked, but because this is getting way too crowded, I'm only going to write the main bodies. So you got the okay. So you got, if I'm only going to write the main bodies, then you got, only almost confusing myself, the ninth, the sixth, and the third. Now, now you got the ninth, and you got the sixth, and you got the third. In this case, yeah, we are looking from you see, I knew it. One second. I did, yeah, I'm correct. Yeah, I'm doing it right. Yeah, I'm doing it right. So, because you have to reverse it so that it 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 falls in place. But let me just start writing some things down so that we can perceive what we are seeing. Now, whenever we have over here we have, okay, I'm sorry about that, y'all, because actually I'm supposed to drop all the dimensions going up, but as y'all can see, I have no space, so we needed to rewrite drawing board quickly, do some editing in the mind quickly. Okay, boom, here we are. Now, below. Below we are looking from the bottom going up, obviously because we are ascending. Now, there has to be a trinity for existence to be able to exist. Without a trinity, existence cannot experience, perceive, or what is the third one? Express itself. Now, whenever we are looking at the construct above, literally above, what do we have? We have a sun, we have a moon, and we have a planet. Now, we just broke it down below. The sun is to be perceived as masculine, the moon is to be perceived as feminine, and the planet is to be perceived as the being that can be whatever it wants to be, both at the same time. It can be whatever it wants to be. Now, whenever we are pinpointing, okay, and we got vision again, and we are ready to reposition again and restart the transition. And literally restart the transition. This was like super, super powerful because you get tested on the spot. And I've said it in my last video. Instead of editing videos and making nice, fancy videos with banners and pictures and all that stuff, no, real is raw and raw is real. I'm not going to edit nothing out so that we can look at what happened because I literally got tested on what I'm conveying over here. Everything went wrong for a small split second. Why? Because for me to explain above, I needed to draw out below first, and I did that. But then on my board, all of a sudden, I didn't have space to draw the same out above. And that completely threw me off because I have it on my sheet, but that is what happened. An obstacle presented itself. Do y'all remember? I was in a certain state of mind. A obstacle presented itself and it completely threw me off. I literally did not know how to continue, and I don't want to stop the video and start over again. So what did I do? I paused it. I paused it to reinitiate a new state of mind. What did I do? I got myself in a situation which turned out to be a obstacle. Now, if I would have gone here, I would have stopped the video and start over again simply because I need more space actually to do what y'all can see how many space it take. I actually need more space than this. But instead of doing that, I went up. And over here, what happens? Reinitiating a new state of mind. And boom, this is what I came up with. This is what I'm going to use to continue what I'm going to explain. And why was it important for all the dimensions to be visible in the opposite direction too? Because um how do I put this? Um if we want to understand physicality, yeah, what does it mean to be physical? Um um how do I rephrase this correctly? You cannot explain do I don't forget anything? If we want to understand what physicality means, um we also need to come to the grips of we cannot discuss physicality of that standpoint. Just as how if we want to understand spirituality, we are down here understanding our spirituality, able to come here. We are down here, able to come here. But what we need to understand when we are talking about as above, as below, that the same nine dimensions or the same nine spheres of existence that we see down below, we also have above. AKA, that is what I drew out over here. So that is why it is important that all of them are there if we want to make sense out of what does it mean to be physical. Now, let's break down what it means to be physical and how do we get to this understanding. That is the most important part. And that is why I also drew out every part of it already. And we need to understand that we ourselves, this this life that we have emitting out of us is this middle line. Yeah, and we send it out in both directions at the same time. Remember, we are able to go in every direction simultaneously at the same time. We are present in all these three at the same time. The Trinity is always active at the same time. This is all happening at the same time. These both directions are happening at the same time. Okay, now let's make sense of above. That's going to be a juicy one, a very, very juicy one. What does it mean to be physical? Now, at one point, when we become aware from the first time, we need to start shaping up our understanding of what it means to become aware. What is happening? What because we need to understand the first body that we create for ourselves is the spirit. Now, how can we tangibly, you see, tangibly give a perspective that we all, the both of us, all can use? And now it is becoming juicy because now I need to use one method for all three minds. Stay with me. Now, which method did I came up with? This is my method. This is not how it is. This is not what you're going to Google. No, we're trying to discuss very, very deep knowledge over here. But yet we have these words to our disposal to make sense out of what we are looking at in our front. Now, what does it mean to be physical? Before we can get that understanding of what it means to be physical, we need to understand what the spirit is doing that makes the body act like that, or by observing what the body is doing, we can understand what the spirit is doing in there to make it act like that. Now, whenever we are in the middle of that, yeah, in the middle of our below and above, once we become aware for the first time, yeah, Remember, your sun is how you see your actions, how you your state of mind, how you go about things. Your moon is how you feel about things, your emotions, your impressions, how what it does to you inside of you. Your sun is what you express, your moon is what you feel. The planet, in this case, the being that comes out of the sun and the moon, which is its own unique being, yeah, that is the fruit that you of your labor. You have planted a seed, and that is what you have reaped. Now, whenever this sphere, yeah, this sphere, why a sphere? Because as above, so below. Whenever we look up, we can see that every energy takes, or every energy, every form, yeah, and every form takes the shape of a sphere. Look at the sun, moon, blah blah, this and that. Everything takes the shape of a sphere, and we are using the form of a sphere because we are in this density. So if we use the word sphere, we can come to grips to what we are talking about. Why? Because the spirit has no shape, the spirit has no form, the spirit has no body. The spirit itself is its first representation, its first physical representation, because it is a muscle. Remember, the physical, the spirit is the lightest density, the lightest density of the muscle. That whenever it becomes mental, it is just a whole lot more accumulation of the same thing, that when it's become physical, now you have literally like a brain. But it is just a lighter density. That is all that it is. Becoming heavy, light. That is all that it is. But let's stick to the point that I'm going to break down over here. For you to have something, you need to have a trinity. I've repeated that over and over again, and now you're going to see why that is important. Whenever you are unaware, that is what you are, unaware. Whenever you become aware, that is you. Whenever you have your sphere, yeah, your spirit, your sphere, whenever you have your sphere and you become aware, that is your essence being aware of its space. Yeah, listen good to the words that I am using. Everybody is becoming aware at its own pace, at its own time. But at the moment that you are aware of yourself. And that is your space, your personal space. And when you become aware of your personal space, you start to attract and push things away that you want out of it and that you don't want out of it. Now, remember, the first thing that we do when we become aware is thinking. Just when we wake up out of sleep, the first thing that we do is confirming that I woke up. That's a thought. We confirm that we woke up. The first thing that you do when you become aware is thinking. Now, whenever we are down here, yeah, below, whenever we are talking about this first dimension, yeah, we're usually talking about the conscious, the awareness, and etc. and etc. And when we're talking about the second one, we're talking about the your sense of duality and etc. And I don't want to put baggage on nothing. You know what I mean? The ability to choose between good and wrong and etc. and etc. And why I choose not to put baggage on top of it? Because geographical locations already change everything. What is good for a person that lives over there is completely normal for a person that lives over here. So I keep it light so that you can fill it in for yourself. You know what I mean? Consciousness, sense of duality and the body that is able to house these two in. Now, whenever we are going into the opposite direction, we need to understand that the first thing that you do, just as how you become aware to become conscious to form your structure of consciousness down here, up there, what you are doing in your sphere of existence, like your spirit, your first body, whenever you are observing your first body, you see, you are observing your first body, you are observing. In this case, when I point here, this one is pointing his third body. This one is observing his sixth body, and this one is observing now his himself, basically. That is what you are doing in the middle here. You are observing yourself. Now, what are we bringing awareness to? That whatever you do down here is happening over there simultaneously. So once you become aware for the first time, the same as you shoot your consciousness down here, and then it comes back up. That is what we are doing here right now, ascending. We are literally going in that direction right now. The same happens on this side. And now, for you to come to the same end, where so now we are going to do this basically. I needed to be clear. I need the direction to be clear. Now we're gonna go into the opposite direction because we send it out in both directions at the same time. And now for us to understand what it means to be physical, we need to come in this direction. Stay with me. Now, the first thing that we do is that we pinpoint our sun. What does this mean? Everybody has a spiritual path. If it's in the realm of astrology, this is called your north node. But your sun is what you use in this third density to express yourself. Remember, the trinity of life, yeah, in our case, is perceiving, expressing, and experiencing. Did I say that correct? Yes, I said it completely correct. Yeah? The spirit perceives, the mind expresses, and the physical body experiences. Now, 1 second, I need just a little bit of this water. Not going anywhere. But I'm talking so long that I'm completely dry now. But we got this. Now, the first thing that you do is you pinpoint your sun. What do I mean with pinpointing? Just think about it at school when you have that globe that you're looking at all the countries at. When there is this little place that you don't want to lose, boom, you put a pinpoint there. Oh, there's another one, boom, you put a pinpoint there. But now, your sphere, your first body that has no eyes yet, no ear yet, no nothing yet to experience with, because you are now going to initiate that, yeah. This sphere, at one point, once you become aware, the fact that you became aware, that means that you have put your first pin there. And that first pin is your sun. And that pin, your sun, is what you are supposed to direct towards your north node, your spiritual path. But that is the school that we are in. You need to learn to direct your sun and go towards your north node. The second pin that you are putting in, the second pinpoint, is your moon. That is the second pinpoint that you put in. And once you have masculine and feminine, you are able to bring them together, and that is what gives you your planet, your fruit of your labor, your this whatever it wants to be. In this lifetime around, you are watching me. That is what you have chosen to be, a human being. But whenever we are going into the opposite directions, yeah, once you have pointed in the way you want to go about things, your sun, and once you have pointed in the way you want you have decided how you feel about things, your moon, you are having given birth to your ascendant, your planet, yeah, then down here you are able to be born in the third dimension because the second we are such a greater spirit already. Um, um yes, we are such a greater spirit already that the first and the second dimension we already have these ticked offs. We have a body who is able to house these two inside of it. Yeah, we have already ticked this off. We are here right now. We are the spirit that you are trying to control their emotions, which is completely, and that is why we are living in a world where most people are dying because people cannot control their emotions. But hey, we will get there. So, what does it mean to be physical? First, our sphere. Whenever it is becoming aware for the first time, it simultaneously of us observing observing ourselves. Yeah, we are observing ourselves. Now that we have observed ourselves, we start to think certain thoughts and feel certain feelings. Now these certain thoughts and feelings is going to be like, okay, I don't like this. Boom, your Mercury. Boom, I do like this. Boom, your Mars. I do like this. Boom, your Venus. I do like this. Boom, your Sun. Boom, your Moon. Once you have the first seven over here, once you have the first seven, yeah, once you have the first seven, yeah, now we are corporeal to this body. We are able to wear this body. It is very commercially, whatever the word is, commercially known about the seven chakras inside of the body. This is what they are talking about. This is how you get to wear this suit, because we are able to house a suit that is able to hold these physically inside of it. These display out as organs: root chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus, the heart space, the throat chakra, and then you have the what they want to call the pineal gland, and then you have what they want to call the crown chakra. And beyond that, it doesn't go any further because over there you get what they want to call the akashic records and all of that, but that is all lostness. Um, you don't have no control over the eighth dimension. Like you don't have the eighth dimension is the first one that comes after the beginning. And the first thing that you do in the beginning is let there be light, right? Or AKA you pinpoint your sun. I can't even make this up. The second thing that you do is you pinpoint your moon. What does that create? How you feel about things, your waters, and how you go about things, your earth. Now, once you have brought these things together, masculine and feminine, now you can have a planet or a fruit or a atom, if you want to call it. Be lost. Over here, you'll be found. Now, whenever this is all happening above. These are not the only energies that you conceal. You also have what they want to call your Mercury, your Mars, your Venus. These are all pinpoints that you decide, I want to feel like this. That means that your Mars is at this degree. That other person has his Mars at that degree. The same Mars expressed in a different angle. There you go. Yeah, from a different angle. And that is how we are all angles. But if you do not remember this, then you will fall and you will only have access to this perspective. And that is what it is to be a fallen angle or a fallen angel, however you want to call it. But this has to bring home what they are talking about now. It has to create a complete different perspective of looking at what all these things that you hear people talk about online when you hear them mention certain things in this direction. Now, let's close this off to bring it home, and we're going to leave this one like on this because the video is going on quite long and I actually didn't want it to make a video too long, but I do think that you understand the importance to understand this. What I was saying, the A dimension is the dimension of the elements. You've the fire, the water, the air, and the earth. We have no control over these. How are we able to confirm that? Because I'm saying that we do not have no control over the eighth dimension. How are we able to physically confirm that? You do not control your breath. You do not control your visions. You just get them. You do not control your imaginations. You can just push out what you don't want to think about anymore. But once that thought comes in, you only can push it out. But it ain't like you can stop it from coming in. Um, 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 we we are not decisive if we do want to drink water or not. We need it. I'm literally drying up in front of you guys right now. We need it, and you cannot walk into the lake and decide that you're going to breathe water now, and you cannot go out of space and breathe that water. It doesn't. We do not control the eighth dimension at all, at all, at all. We have access to the seventh. It is right above our what they want to call our heads. It is so close that we have access. That is what we call the crown chakra. And then when we are talking about the sixth, that is now we are talking about real life organs. So now organs are being manifested in these places. Whenever we are talking about in the opposite direction, it is the exact same thing. We have no control over the eighth dimension, and the seventh dimension, that is where the sphere, yeah, that pinpointing is what is being described as the first ritual that you do as a spirit. Pinpointing what energies you want to use to filter yourself through. Now, these pinpoints that you put to filter yourself through at one point, now whenever we over here we are how would you say it, correlating what we would call in this realm the elements. Here in this realm, remember, this is the feminine, the space, and this is masculine, the force. Once the space is ready, remember, first there was light, and then we needed to split things, and then we needed to let everybody know how we feel, so our earth and our waters, and etc. and etc. And now that the space is ready, the force is able to move in. The force is able to go and be fruitful in that space. Now, this is all coming out of that pinpointing what we was talking about first, and then with these pinpoints, yeah, once you have the fire, earth, air, yeah, the fire, earth, air, and water, this is how you square out that sphere. That sphere, yeah, needs a trinity for it to have something to exist through. That trinity is going to be your sun, first pinpoint, your moon, your fifth pinpoint, and now that you have one masculine and one feminine energy, a fruit can be born out of that. Your ascendant. That is your first trinity. And now through that, and this is below, above, this is above, below, yeah, it would be Your planet would be your spirit, but no, I'm saying it correct. Your sun would be your 3D body, your moon would be your 6D body, and your planet would be your 9D body. But now we are coming from this side, coming down. So first, you would have the sphere doing the ritual of placing its energy signatures to whom it want to filter itself through and squaring itself out with air, fire, water, and earth. And now you have a display. Yeah? And remember the Trinity. You have the. Okay, let's start over again. You have the sphere that does the ritual to um, um to gain his existence through the trinity of the sun, the vision, the moon, the feeling, these two coming together, becoming the planet, the fruit of your labor. Yeah? And all these other ones, all your other signature, all your other planets, yeah, these are now having a mind to sit through. Remember, once we are at the seventh, once we are reaching the sixth, now they have a body to sit in. So once you have done all of that, now here your moon is the body that can house these two. Remember that, because what did I said at the physical part, which is a whole lot easier to understand because we are looking at it from this perspective. The first and the second dimension are inside of the third dimension. So over here, once you have correlated your pinpoints and your display, which means your fire, water, and earth, your elements, the force is able to go and be fruitful. That means the space is now being inhabited by a force that is ready to be fruitful. That fruit is the moon or the mind, the body that is able to hold these two inside of it. And then you have the realm of life, or aka the fifth and the fourth dimension inside of the third dimension. And here is where we get born, because the first and the second one, we are such a greater spirits that we have already ticked these off. We are able to take on bodies that are able to move in a third dimensional construct. There you go. So, and obviously this went everywhere. Um, um, I am going to cut it short because of the readjusting, a whole lot that actually need to come and doesn't fit anymore, and I do need to take some stuff away, but I wanted to consolidate this bit at least. And before I'm going to yeah, you know what, it's okay. And why? Because this is also all part of my startup here on this YouTube thingy. And why? Because as we can see, everything is going um, um, in the form of posing to be a obstacle. With my first video, that well, my first video, there are like 3 videos that is supposed to be one video. Everything went wrong with the uploading. Like, I'm new to this YouTube, I did not know yet how to do it, and now I'm dealing with this one. Like, I didn't measure the, you see over here it's all perfect in the transition, and over here it does not match the intention that I have. But the message did get out. But if it came out and was immediately also understood, I hope so. I really, really, really do. But now that the transition is reaching its end, we live in a construct which does not support, or which is not supportive to brilliancy. And that is why I made this video, because um, once again, and I've said it a lot, we need help, and we is all we got. And these kind of people, these kind of people they are able to help, but they are also the ones that make people phase out of the way, that make people question themselves, that make people feel like a mirror is being held up to them. Positive power. This is something that this is a choice. That is why I say that at the beginning of my videos. Positive power. You choose if you want to be kind to somebody. You choose if you want to give somebody positive energy. You choose if you want to give care to somebody, be loving. That is all a choice. Prosperous peace. Prosperity does not come. It's not hanging on the trees. The Creator makes no mistakes. So prosperity is what you get back for what you put out. And if positivity is what you put out, what you will receive back will bring you prosperity. Prosperity brings ease. Now you can chill. Now you can be relaxed. And ease brings peace. Now you can be peaceful. Where? In the mind. Positive power, prosperous peace. That is how I came up with that. I hope that a little bit of peace is delivered to any individual out there who is wondering how does this comes to be, because if you don't know why, if you don't know what life is, if you don't know why you have it, and if you don't know now that you have it what you need to do with it, then you don't know why you're here. And if you don't know why you're here, you don't know how you got here. And I hope that with this video, it is very clear that once I have figured out how this thing works and how to make everything work smoothly, I got some hella videos for you guys. But hey, I'm going to I'm going to call it quits, and I hope that y'all liked the video. If y'all liked the video, let me know. If y'all think that it was all delusion, let me know, because everything that I have brought to your awareness, I can explain. And the next one is only going to be better than this one. So, hey, I'm biggest brain in the building. Gave you vision, ready to position to retransition.